I get into it. welcome to another episode of the Caribbean Fan Stand. I'm your host, yours truly, Wood, aka Tawa, and we here to talk again about sports. Well, that's what the Fan Stand is for. Before we get into the sporting news, like we did with the little house cleaning, we gotta get out of the way first. So for those who haven't, follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, subscribe to the YouTube page. You could also get the podcast and episodes of the Caribbean Fan Stand. You can get the episodes of the Wood and the Street podcast and the Caribbean Fan Stand audio versions, that is, on Spotify and all other major podcasting platforms. Right, and you can check out the latest episode of Wood and the Street with myself and Randall, where we discuss the semen child death spirit that flying over the country at the moment. Police officers in Carnage getting arrested for robbing a Chinese grocery. People thieving street signs in Queens, and a host of different topics. I think you're gonna check out the episode now on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and again follow us on here on Instagram and also on TikTok so you could be abreast of everything we're going on, and also to pass smile in your face. Right? Nice. So before we get into it, well, as we go, the first thing we did with the weekend roundup. Well, it had some midweek games last week in the week there. So we gonna go into all those games, but in the week also it had the Carabao Cup in England, and well, obviously you all know I'm a Chelsea fan by now. But notably Man City, they were knocked out by Newcastle. Right? So Man City out of the Carabao Cup in the third round, which is the first round for them. So that is big news. Also Chelsea, beat Brighton 1-0, but we was robbed a goal. So yeah, there we go. Big up Naeem mommy. We all invite me to your brunch. Nice small thing. Big up Kevin Macano as well. Yeah, so starting with the Bundesliga. And as usual outside of England, we just dealing with the aviators and like notable, results. So on Friday the 29th, Borussia Dortmund won 3-1 away at Hoffenheim. On Saturday, Bayer Leverkusen won 3-0 away to Mainz. So that would take them to the top of the Bundesliga table. On Saturday as well, in the late game, the former league, well, the current champions, the defending champions, Bayern Munich, they drew 2-2 away at Leipzig, and that was an interesting game because Leipzig was dominating them in the first half 2-0, but then Bayern came back in the second half and could have won it. I think the goals came a penalty from Harry Kane, and Leroy Sané got the equalizer. So they were able to come back and get a draw, but they dropped to second in the table. They were going to the standings. well, now. Yeah, so as I said, by Leverkusen, first with 16 points. Stuttgart, well, I was mistaken. I say Bayern Munich second, Stuttgart second. So better you go back and see how Stuttgart doing. Or Stuttgart up there. So Stuttgart won 2-0 against Cologne, away to Cologne. So we had to follow up on Stuttgart thing. So if I can call us Stuttgart results, I'll remind me next week. Alright, so Stuttgart, they are second in the table with 15 points. Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund are tied for third. Well, they are third and fourth currently. No, they ain't really tied because Bayern have a better goal difference. So Bayern and they are the same amount of points though, on 14 points. And fifth is RB Leipzig with 13 points. So yeah. So Leverkusen looking good. When he named Xabi Alonso, I say any right thing? Yeah, Xabi Alonso. But Leverkusen coach just he thought to take over the Real Madrid job, and where we going, he probably go be a showing. Because he's a Bayern Munich, Liverpool and Real Madrid player. And as we know, Carlo Ancelotti is headed to coach Brazil for the next upcoming World Cup. So, yeah, Xabi Alonso, we doing big things with Bayern. So we're going to Spain now. Nice. United Princess Nicia, if I get that right. So in Spain and over the weekend, on Friday, Barca scraped in a 1-0, and it's so ironic. It was an own goal from one of the fiercest rivals as a player in oh god, he used to play for thing, but that's so it shouldn't be so hard for me to remember his name. But yeah, Sergio Ramos for Real, one of the fiercest rivals for Real when you're playing in Real Madrid days. Sergio Ramos a own goal, so Barca scraped a 1-0 win at home against Sevilla. In the big game on Saturday, Girona, formerly on top of the table, they fell 3-0 to Real Madrid, and the Jude Bellingham train keeps on chugging along. So yeah, Real Sociedad, they won 3-0 at home to Athletic Club. Atletico Madrid, they came from behind to win 3-2 at home to KDs. And Valencia, they won 3-0 against, so they lost 3-0 to Real Betis. Again, we just dealing with outside of England. We just dealing with I am just dealing with the marquee matchups and the marquee names. Feel free if you want to talk about something, straight up in the comments, tap in, right? But like I keep saying, I follow all football, but not as intensely as the Premier League. Right, so we're going on to the let me song before I go on. Only remind me now. Let me see with the standings looking like in Spain. Something I pull up the wrong thing. Let's see what's going on here. I'ma see. I believe Real right, I get it now. So Real on top, first place with 21 points. Barca is second with 20 points. Girona, they fell to third with currently on 19 points. And Atletico Madrid on fourth with 16 points, with Real Sociedad on 15 points in fifth. Alright? Big up my brethren Justif, aka Mouse. When you see he's not really a big sports fan, but he doing some coaching and thing up on with the youths up on here. So big up Mouse, and big up Mouse was in my team All Stars. and we got the All-Stars on the second place finish. So he's doing some coaching. He wasn't really a big sportsman in there. He played basketball in his school days, but he's doing some coaching with the youth, so that's nice, man. Big up myself, Mouse. Yeah, so we're moving on to Spain now. Not to Spain, so Italy, sorry. Napoli, they bounced back from some disappointing results. They won 4-0 against Lecce. Victor Osimhen was on the score sheet, so I don't think any memes coming out this week. Milan, they won 2-0 at home to Lazio. Lazio are kind of poor start to the season, but although they ain't playing too bad, but the results. I think Pulisic and Okafor is his name. I think they scored for AC Milan. Inter, they won 4-0 away to Salernitana. Should I say Inter or Lautaro Martinez? Because he scored all 4 goals. So yeah, and I think he created some kind of issue. Atalanta and Juventus, they drew 0-0. Roma, with the help of Romelu Lukaku, they won 2-0, which they needed that win. They won 2-0 to Frosinone. Forgive me. Frosinone. And I'm gonna touch up on my Italian. Well, Fiorentina won 3-0 at home to Cagliari. Right? And the table in Italy is currently looking at Inter on top on 18 points. They enter by goal difference. Milan second also on 18 points. Napoli on 14 points, the defending champions. And Juventus and Fiorentina round of the top 5, both on 14 points. So Napoli, Juventus and Fiorentina on 14 points. So we can go over now to the English Premier League, the biggest league in the world. On Saturday, the early game, Aston Villa demolished Brighton 6-1. So that is 2 back-to-back losses to Brighton in the league and the cup. I mentioned earlier, Chelsea beat them in the Carabao Cup in the week, and then they lost to Aston Villa. But one of the reasons why the Premier League is so interesting, and I'm not saying it don't happen in other leagues, but it kind of like, in my opinion, it more frequently happens in the Premier League. Like anybody can beat anybody. You don't know who gonna win, or you can like over predict the results number. You know, people form thing. People will you could kind of go based on form, but so I say that because in the first week, game week 1, Newcastle demolished Aston Villa. Brighton beat Newcastle comprehensively. I think it was 3-1. I can't remember exactly, but I know it was a convincing result. So, given that, you would think, alright, Brighton beat Newcastle and Newcastle beat Aston Villa. So, Brighton better than Aston Villa. Nope. 6-1. Comprehensive 6-1. Arsenal, they won 4-0 away to Bournemouth. Havertz getting his first goal, a little charity penalty. So, yeah, Luton as well, they got their first win of the season. They won 2-1 away to Everton. In one of the most shocking results, not because of the actual, not because of the result per se, but given the game that I played before in the week, Crystal Palace, they won 1-0 away. They won 1-0 at Old Trafford against Manchester United. And the reason why I say now, Man U form for the season hasn't really been convincing. But why I say the result was surprising is because Man U beat I don't think it was Crystal Palace best team, but Crystal Palace best team and Man U best team even at now. Chapeau, Man U supposed to be better. So Man U beat them convincingly in the weekend in the Carabao Cup. And then they came and lost in this game here. So so more Worcester Man you continue. Newcastle, they won 2-0 at home, St. James's Park against Burnley. Now although Burnley playing Chelsea this Saturday coming, I want them to lose again. I kind of feeling sorry for Burnley. From all the teams, the newly promoted teams, Burnley actually playing some decent football, but they're not getting no results. They're not getting the results. So I hope they don't get the results against Chelsea, but I kind of feeling sorry for them. After Chelsea, then I hope they have to win some games. West Ham, they bounced back and won 2-0 against Sheffield United in the shocker of the weekend. No Rodri, no Kevin De Bruyne. Man City fell 2-1 against Wolves. We name is by the Argentine Alvarez, though. Yeah, he scored a very nice free kick in that game, although they lost. And in the game of the week, where we go talk about a little more, Tottenham, they edged Liverpool 2-1, sorry. Yeah? We will get into that game a little more. And the controversy behind it for those who don't know, and also to give my point of view on it. On Sunday, Nottingham Forest came from a goal down and a man down to pull off a 1-1 draw against Brentford. And in the Monday night game, Chelsea won 2-0 away to Fulham. And this is one of the reasons why I created the fan stand, because I find, as much as I like one or the others, but I watch I personally I watch a different set of sports and sports vlogs and so on, and ESPN FC. Fisher and Shaka is up, mainly because of Shaka is up, because I find they had some of the least biased pundits, but there are some biases, and for the most part, so that's probably Steve Nicol, who is an ex-Liverpool player and is heavily biased towards his comments in regarding to Liverpool as opposed to other people. Not that he's so biased to Liverpool, but like things he will defend with Liverpool, he will try to bash other teams. Yeah. I find they get Chelsea a good rating for this game. Not to say that it was the best game ever, or like they won like the season instantly to them, but Chelsea completely dominated that first half, and they was able to keep the clean sheet and come out with a 2-0 win. So they deserve a little more, not plenty more, but a little more plaudits than they received from the pundit. And not only them, because I see something for Jamie Carragher and Frank Lampard on Sky Sports, and Jamie Carragher extremely biased, so I didn't really expect much difference. So again, that's the reason for the fan stand, so that we the fans could be openly biased and also be critical. I don't like when people pretend not to be biased and they're biased. If you're biased, just say biased, or just be biased. So try to pretend like you're impartial when you're not. And so the fans could get their own perspective and share their own perspective on things. So Modric got his first goal for Chelsea, first competitive goal for Chelsea, or first goal in a competitive game for Chelsea. A nice ball from Colwell, cross, and a nice first touch off his chest and finish from Modric. And he was playing good, but he come off half time. Let's say like a precautionary measure. He had felt a little tightness in the quad, but big up to him, boy, because as much as he and the rest of the Chelsea team, but him in particular, hasn't seen the best or what people are expecting. Given the price tag, although the price tag will skewed in the representation of it, because they like to quote him as a $90 million player, which he is not. And I'm not saying that he worth the money that I go and say, but it's not the same thing. So it's 70 some million, or like there is a 70 million, and like a whole 20 million in add-ons, which they're probably not gonna get, which is if Chelsea win the Champions League, if they win the Premier League, and so on and so forth. So, but anyhow, I need that here now there. But he has a lot of criticism, plus the issues going on back home in his home country of Ukraine. So, but he have a high ceiling. You can see that he's a skillful player. But why I say he deserves it is because he from all reports, he's been working very hard, but the city man has been in the gym relentlessly. I think the coaching staff tell him he's up on the weights and thing, but in general, the city man be training very hard. He want to be great, he want to be good, he want to improve. There's some players who they get a salary and them figure they're doing enough, and for example, probably like a Jadon Sancho, and anybody tell them that nobody can tell them anything different. Now the city man is real work hard, boys. So I rate him for that, and I'm glad he get good. Also big up to Armando Broja, or Broya, however you want to pronounce it. He also was a little scraping goal, but and he also scored earlier. But he his first start after his ACL, I believe it was, knee injury for almost a year. He was out, so big up to him. He got a goal as well. Cole Palmer had a good game. Caicedo had one of the better games in a Chelsea shirt. Enzo, I think he's starting to, well, I don't know if it was the setup, initially the setup like a 4-2-3-1 with Enzo playing 10, but then it kind of more looked like a 4-3-3 because Enzo was dropping deeper in the midfield and real boss in the midfield, especially in the first half. So, yeah, big up Enzo. That Sassy had a good game as well. Big up. And this is on me as well, because I have been critical of him. Big up Cucurella, boy. Cucurella in the last two games where he played right back, the man playing real good and he fighting. So big up Cucurella. He had a good game as well. What the keeper name is? Robert Sanchez. He pulled off a big save to keep a clean sheet and to keep the team clean sheet, although he realizing and now you can't fault him but all the big top keepers, especially the ball playing keepers, have a mistake or two in them. Because I find every game he hits me that boy. Man, it sound like passing, like he passed into the attackers of the next team, but nothing came out of it. He recovered the ball one time. But in general, he pulled out some game-winning saves and he kind of more commanding than Kepa, I must say, like in crosses and so on. Kepa was shorter than him too, But yeah. So big up Chelsea. Hopefully we can carry on this form into the Burnley game on Saturday coming. So yeah, the game we can finish in England because Luton and Burnley playing tomorrow, because I think I was in game week 2 or game week 1. That game was postponed because Luton home ground was not ready yet, so they're playing that game tomorrow at 2:30. So that will be the end of the game week. But that being said, the current standings in the Premier League, even with the loss, which again I find some of the pundits and the fans especially were good. I kind of more expect from the fans because them like more passionate, they're just more like on raw emotion and just feeling and raps and banter and whatever. But one loss and everybody thinking about if City could retain the title, if it's a crisis, like one loss, dog, relax for yourself, my boy. So City's still on top with 18 points. They playing Arsenal this weekend coming here, so that will be a big game. No Rodri, no De Bruyne, so we will see what if Arsenal could maximize on that. Spurs currently second on 17 points. I think they have they and Arsenal are the same goal difference, but they scored more goals, so that's why the second. Arsenal third, also with 17 points. Arsenal and Spurs remain the two only unbeaten teams in England at the moment. Well, not at the moment, but the only two unbeaten teams remaining. Liverpool, they are currently fourth on 16 points. I believe that was the first loss against Tottenham. And Aston Villa, they moved up to fifth, currently on 15 points, taking over Brighton. Brighton also on 15 points, but they dropped down to, they have a worse goal difference than Aston Villa. Chelsea, they move up to 11th from 14th. Currently on 8 points, so hopefully they will keep trending again, as I say, in the Burnley game coming up. Yeah, and that is it for the weekend roundup, and also the league standings for the different leagues. Right, so getting into the game of the week. Tottenham Hotspur against Liverpool. Right? Played at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Now, this game was littered with controversy. So Tottenham, Luis Diaz was wrongfully denied a goal because of the offside rule, and VAR, the on-field officials got it wrong and VAR got it wrong. Now, although they came out and apologized and admitted fault and whatever, the reason, well, for me, one of the reasons why this is so important is like this is like the fifth or fourth big mistake for the season so far, just in the Premier League alone. 1, 2, I think it was Mike Dean, if you don't correct me if I'm wrong, Mike Dean. I think he retired now, when he came out and was talking about the error made in the Chelsea Tottenham game in the last season, when it finished in a 2-2 draw, when I think Romero pulled Cucurella here and they scored and Tottenham was scoring a game, and Chelsea was actually dominating, and then Tuchel lost his job like 2 weeks later or a week later, whatever. And Mike Dean came out and said that he was the VAR and he didn't want to, he see it, but he didn't want to make the call because you're trying to protect his mates, which was the next referee, because you know them. Not like that he bridging, but that is like, you know, when that all them working together, so you trying to defend the referee. Your job is not to defend the referee. Your job is to help the referee make the right choices. So if he make a mistake, and that I don't think the referee is understanding. If a referee make a mistake, VAR is there to help him, because if you're trying to cover for him in the game, the mistake would be magnified after the game when everybody scrutinizing it, because we have VAR in football, but they have VAR in life. Everything is reviewed, everything is on screen, everything is recorded, everything, you can be able to go back and check it. So after that comment, now everything happen with VAR and referees, you're wondering, well, these referees bias, or they're trying to protect each other, or because VAR come out, they say they know it was offside, but they thought the referee on the field had called it, or says a goal, so they didn't say it's a goal. Some nonsense. So that is my issue with it. See, especially human error is part of the game, and although VAR, the technology of VAR is supposed to help the referees, it's still humans using the technology, so it will have errors. But the reason for the errors is the problem, not the actual mistakes. Now the mistake, and again, accountability. Even if a man make a mistake, he still will be accountable for his mistake. But the reason for the mistake is the problem I have. Because if you just get it wrong or something like that, alright, then you just had a bad day. Every day is human. Players make mistakes. Referees managers make mistakes. Even owners and technical staff make mistakes in who they buy and sell and whatever the case might be. You know, physios or team doctors make mistakes in bringing people back early from injury or not treating it properly, misdiagnosing, whatever. Everybody make mistakes. So the referees are not immune to mistakes. The reason for the mistakes, and if it is a mistake, because if you trying to save your friend from looking bad, it's not a mistake you make. You do that intentionally. He might have make a mistake on the field, but you do it intentionally to try to save how the referees look, and you're making the referees look worse. Right? So that is my issue with that. Big up Kurt, genius. Yeah, so carrying on with the analysis of the game. Curtis Jones received that red card. Some people, like the same Steven Nicholas I was talking about earlier, saying he don't find it was a straight red card. Now, there are different infractions they can receive a red card for. They don't always have to be intentional, you know. So he tried to make a tackle. He went over the ball. Now he can make contact with the ball, but to the top of the ball, and then got the man ankle full on. Could have break the man foot close to the ankle, like just above the ankle. Right? Anything above your foot, anything above the ankle and above, stud showing, is a red card. Whether you get a piece of the ball or not, the follow through, you can get a red card for that. For in danger in a player. So I don't know shipping Stevie Nichols talking about. But yeah, so they went a man down. Spurs scored, Liverpool equalized, and then they lost our next player later in the game. They were down to 9 men, and the late in the game, I think it's injury time if I'm not mistaken, Spurs were able to sneak the victory. Yeah? Excuse me. Unless I sleep, tiredness or hunger, boy. Good night to Island Darky. Just trying to see the timeline here. Yeah, so in the 96th minute. In 96 minutes, own goal by no, that's not where. Hold on. Yeah, own goal. I seen it right there. Own goal by Joel Matip. Yeah, own goal by Joel Matip was the decider. And the next person to get the red card was Jota. He got a second yellow. So yeah, so that game was the biggest talking point of the weekend, especially in England, with the 2 red cards. Supposedly controversial first red card, which I don't find that controversial. No, it was not. It didn't seem intentional. Like he was trying to make a footballing challenge. But if you not to go bring it back to Chelsea, well, I cannot do that because everything is compared to Chelsea. Well, I mean, as a Chelsea fan. If you see red card where Malo Gusto would have received in the last week or the last round of games, it's nothing much dissimilar. He tried to chuck the ball from the man, get piece of the ball, not much of the ball, and take out and follow and studs on him up on the man ankle, right down the man ankle going up to the shin. So it's a red card. Unfortunate, and I think last week I said it was not a. But what I mean, like, is a, I should not say, or I shouldn't say not a, it wasn't a red card at the time, but like, and not to be biased or overly biased, Curtis Jones was worse in my opinion, but the point I'm making is that when you see them kind of calls, they have some calls, they'll be like, I know he wasn't trying to do nothing. I know he wasn't trying to damage the man, or you know how he play work, or how he play up thing, you know it wasn't intentional. But because of what happened, you can't fight it. It's basically like that. So I'm not saying like I find he should have been sent off, but you can't deny that is a red card when it is given. That kind of red card. If that making sense to you. So yeah. So that was the big game of the week. I think, well, on paper at least, big game on next week is City versus Arsenal. So we will see how City cope without Rodri and De Bruyne. Tomorrow the Champions League is back, game week 2. So we will just check out where some of the marquee games to watch out for. Tomorrow, Man United playing Galatasaray. Lens playing Arsenal. Napoli, that's supposed to be a nice game. Napoli at home to Real Madrid. Copenhagen taking on Bayern Munich. Inter Milan also supposed to be a decent Champions League, especially Benfica tonight. So Inter playing Benfica. Let's see what Wednesday looking like. Alright, so on Wednesday, Atletico Madrid playing Feyenoord. Celtic playing Lazio. In the group of death, Newcastle playing Paris Saint-Germain. And remember, Newcastle and AC Milan, I think, drawn 0-0 in the first game week 1. Borussia Dortmund, they take on AC Milan. RB Leipzig and Man City match up again. They take on each other. FC Porto will be hosting Barcelona. Yeah, so that the games coming up tomorrow and Thursday. Wednesday in the Champions League. On Thursday in the Europa League, for who don't know or who don't remember, I only bring up the Europa League, not become a team in it, but because of Trinidad and in it, AK Athens, Levi Garcia's AK Athens, they will be playing on Thursday, an early game, 12:45. They will be hosting Ajax. And I believe on paper this is a good game right now because Ajax didn't have a good start to the season at all. They lost plenty players and I know they like injured them properly. So and given if AEK able to replicate the performance they had against Brighton, because they not had the group, because they also have mass in the group. If they able to replicate that form they had against Brighton, then they're supposed to beat Ajax, given Ajax started the season form. Yeah, so we look out for on Thursday, 12:45, look out for Levi Garcia, and AK Athens taking on Ajax. Yeah, and before we go, let's wrap it up. Some big trades in the NBA. Well, firstly, the Bucks traded Drew Holiday, and it was a 3-team trade. So Drew Holiday went to Portland Trailblazers. I forget, and then a youth man, I can't remember his name right now, but a role player and some other pieces and considerations went to the Suns. Andre Eden went to the Portland Trailblazers as well. And, drumroll please, Damian Dalla Dame time Dame time is now a buck. So Dame and Giannis link up. They both got what they wanted to join up with a superstar. So you will see what I like. And I didn't like that trade because not because I like Damian Lillard and I like Giannis, but I just find for Bucks at time Drew Holiday brought so much to them. And he was like a glue guy. Like he could take over games offensively at times. Not like he's the best offensive player, I'm not saying that, but he could manage a game and he could do what necessary. Whatever you need at the time, he doing that. So when Giannis was out and you need a little offense, he would give you that. Defensively, he's one of the better defenders, one of the better on-ball defenders in the NBA. And just his general management of games, so in the point guard position, I think that's very important. But you had to give something to get something. So, and Giannis don't say if they in-game help, they bring more help for him. If the team is strengthen up, he's not signing no extension, and probably at the end of next season, he's looking to head out. So, they had to do something. And Damian Lillard also say he want to go to a good team, but he don't want to go to Warriors or no big market team that like almost guaranteed to win if they add certain players like when Warriors had Kevin Durant I don't think Warriors in the same position right now. Not that it's a bad team, but I don't think it's a sure win right now. But so I guess they kind of everybody get what they wanted. Well, at least in terms of the big names. But in 2 days time, 2 days later, that was like Thursday into Friday. Over the weekend, Drew Holiday was traded again. He's now heading to Boston, and Boston gave up some not so important pieces. I think I could be mistaken, but I think the Rasta man, Williams, I think he heading over, but that ain't gonna make no sense though. So I don't think it's he, because that had two people with the same name. So much the strong red man. I forget his name right now. But he and the Rasta man, I say, because I don't think they will send an next center when they don't get Eden already. So, but the most important thing, Drew Holiday, he is heading to the Boston Celtics, which I think makes Celtics even more competitive and kind of diminishes. Now Damian Lillard is a big player, but given in terms of the overall team, it's an clear favorite now anywhere in the East. It's harder for Miami and the others. So the East even get more competitive because Celtics get way better with Drew Holiday on the team, and well, Bucks improve with Damian Lillard offensively at least. Today was media day, so I think it's 2 to 3 weeks again before the NBA tip off. So we're looking out for that, and we will have some more sports. Well, different type of sports to talk about. But yeah, so that is the news day for this week. So, thanks to all those who came to the fan stand. All those who hit us up in the comment, big up yourself. If you wasn't able, for those who not able to join the live this week, as per usual, in a couple of days time, barring some technical difficulties, we would be posting tomorrow or the day after, hopefully tomorrow. But also some editing to do, and with all the requirements. So yeah, so thanks again for joining us on the Caribbean Fan Stand. My name is Tawa aka Wood, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok. Go check out the Instagram, the YouTube page where it have the latest episode of the Wooden Street podcast with myself and Randall. Also, you can get audio only versions of the Caribbean Fan Stand and the Wooden Street podcast on Spotify and other major podcasting platforms. And until next week, this has been the Caribbean Fan Stand. Keep your ears on the ground, and we go get the word out. Bless.